Hey guys, how we doing today? Welcome back to Football Talk with Hawk. We are in episode 15 now, believe it or not. Episode 15. And as I said, this is the second recap video. We're going to go over the rest of the games that happened on Sunday. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Don't want to drag it out too terribly much. And well, shoot, let's just see what happens here. So basically, if you guys remember last time I said I am wondering if we're not going to actually see um, good football until October because the new way that the preseason is being approached by many teams. Starters didn't play all preseason. We had multiple quarterbacks miss the entire preseason. Joe Burrow for the Bengals, he had the appendectomy. He missed the entire preseason. Still got things we're trying to work through on individual teams, but really these football games are not great as of right now. Some of the games have been exciting, but it's not great football. There's a big difference. And take the Buccaneers Saints game. It was a mess. That game was 6-3 and looking like it was basically going to be won on field goals. And then interception by Jameis Winston from the New Orleans Saints. Buccaneers end up winning 20-10. They don't look particularly sharp. They're banged up on the offensive line. They're banged up at receiver. The New Orleans Saints defense really put grips down on Brady until late. I mean, let's just be honest. The defense gets tired. You can't stop Brady if you're just going to keep giving him play after play after play, opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Let's just be honest here. Whether he's 45 or not, a quarterback that has his type of ability to dissect the defense eventually will get it with a setup like that. So unfortunately, 20-10, the game score really doesn't show how bad the game was. It was really worse than what the score indicates. But congrats to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 2-0. Washington versus Detroit. I told you, I love this Detroit team. I absolutely love Dan Campbell. I love his motivation. I don't know if he's a good coach, but dang it, they've got everything rolling there. It was an absolutely beautiful game by them. They come out so dang hot. They come out fast. They come out quick. They were up 22-0 at halftime. Like, this team is a first half team. They will get you down, and if you're not prepared to come back, you're in trouble. They held on this week. They didn't let the Washington Commanders come back. They did a really good job of staying in their pace, staying in their zone, and kudos to them. Last week was a heartbreak loss to Philadelphia. This week they get the W, beat the Commanders 36-27. And then we got the Jets and the Browns. This is a game the Browns could remember at the end of the year if they missed the playoffs by one game, because in a minute and 14 seconds, the Jets scored 2 touchdowns. But I'm going to throw this loss more on the play calling at the end of the game. All you have to do is run it, run the clock out, run the ball, do your job, and the Browns walk out of there with a victory, maybe 30-24, but probably 30-20 or 17. Like, it was those 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 14 were bad. The defense didn't step up, played prevent. The Jets just torched them. They got the onside kick recovery, and then they didn't stop them again. Like, it was a culmination of things. They were throwing the ball when they should have just ran it, and that's going to be a game the Browns remember. They had it. They were set up to go 2-0, to start 2-0 and be number 1 in the division. But unfortunately, they get the L. And I'm really going to put it at the bottom of play calling. 31-30, the Jets, don't let the game fool you. Flacco threw 44 times again. The offense is just, it's all over the place. The running game's bad. The offense really is bad. 26-44. That's horrible. That is just horrible percentage-wise. So I mean, honestly, it's bad offense. The defenses really are struggling right now. Like the offenses aren't really great. The defenses are just struggling that bad. But nonetheless, for that game, 31-30, Jets pull out the victory in the final 2 minutes. Then we take a look, Broncos versus Texans. I know Broncos fans are wondering what the heck is going on. They had to come back in the fourth quarter. They were down 9-6. Heading in the fourth, they score a touchdown and a field goal in the fourth quarter to win, and they get the W. They were home. The offense doesn't look great. Nathaniel Hackett looks out. He looks really, really out of place right now. I hoped. It depends on which way you want to look at it. I hoped he would rely on his dad, the great Paul Hackett, offensive coordinator and coach for many years. Nathaniel Hackett knows what to do. He's a bit overwhelmed, and he doesn't have to be. This is the part that somebody in that organization needs to stress, whether it's John Elway, whether Peyton Manning needs to go over and talk to him. Somebody in that organization needs to tell Hackett, relax, you're not alone. You have Russell Wilson as your quarterback, for goodness sakes. Let him be your quarterback. Let the games come to you. Don't get overwhelmed right now. Yeah, you're picked to be in a top of your division. You're in a division that's the toughest in football, but you've got a quarterback you can rely on and give the offense to. One of the most accurate quarterbacks since he's come into the NFL. This guy doesn't throw interceptions. The guy has you've got a great quarterback to do this with. Relax. Don't take all the pressure on yourself. Chill out. Let Russell Wilson run the offense. Don't feel like you've got to assert yourself so much. These are grown men you're coaching in Denver. You need to win games. And they have a huge one coming up against San Francisco this weekend. I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the video tomorrow, if not this weekend. San Francisco and Seattle. San Francisco, Trey Lance gets hurt, so Jimmy Garoppolo back in the starting lineup. This is going to be really interesting how this goes down. And I mean really interesting. Eli Mitchell's hurt. Jeff Wilson Jr. is a fantastic running back. Once again, they got another one. Garoppolo's going to run the offense. This is a playoff team. With Garoppolo or Trey Lance, it's a playoff team. They had the Seahawks came back down to earth a little bit. Only scored 7 points. And Seattle's what we thought they were. But really, the injuries are already piling up. Kittle's been hurt. Elijah Mitchell's hurt. Trey Lance is out for the year. Injuries are starting to pile up for the 49ers, so that is something to keep an eye on. But they got the W this week, 27-7. Then we look at the Falcons and the Rams. This was a lot closer than it should have been. The Falcons scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. The game was 31-27, but at the end of the third quarter, it was 28-10. So kudos to the Falcons. But the reality is the Rams still don't have an overly great running game. Cooper Kupp did a fantastic. I mean, the Rams offense was beautiful, but I'm going to give the Falcons a little bit of credit here. And here's why. They're playing tough. They're 0-2, but they are playing really tough. I like the toughness. Drake London, the rookie receiver, he has shown exactly what you want to see out of a rookie receiver. Great day. I mean, look, these stats are amazing here. 8 receptions, 86 yards, a touchdown. He got targeted 12 times. Like I have said, I love what Atlanta's doing. They're tanking, quote unquote tanking. They're not tanking. They don't have the cap room to sign a bunch of people to warrant being competitive. Yes, I meant that way I said. They can't warrant trying to be competitive because it's just not feasible. You're sacrificing a lot of the future potential for trying to do anything this year. They have got rookies that are learning. They've got rookies that are playing. Their rookie running back, Tyler Algier, he's playing now. Cordero Patterson, who knows whether or not he's actually going to play, play next year. I guess he will. Marcus Mariota is the quarterback right now. I can't wait until Ritter gets in there. I know Ritter will at some point probably be starting for the Atlanta Falcons this year. The Falcons are building something, and they're very competitive while they're doing it. This is why this isn't tanking. They almost beat the Saints in week 1. They came back with 17 points in the fourth quarter against the Los Angeles Rams in week number 2. They're not giving up. These guys are playing hard. They don't have the talent level to compete. So this is the way, if you're going to tank, this is how you tank professionally. Not because you are trying to literally just, we're just not going to put anything out there. No, they've got the best that they can. Dead money this year is through the roof. There's a bunch of dead money this year for them. They get cap space next year. They can go get a couple free agents next year to shore up some holes, have another great draft like they did this year, and the Falcons will be right back in the mix. Tom Brady's not in the division next year, guys. I'm sorry. After everything that's happened with Tom Brady so far this offseason, he's not coming back next year. He may not even play this whole season. Like there is a legitimate shot right now. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Next year, this division is so wide open because without Brady, the Bucs don't win last week. Without Brady, the Bucs don't beat the Saints this week. The Saints are a mess. The Panthers are 0-2. Like, this is the reality of this division. The NFC South is almost as bad as the AFC South right now. Like, you could easily climb out of this division in one more year and give the Falcons credit for having a direction, a plan, and they're sticking to it. This is how you professionally rebuild 1 year. They're taking 1 year to get all the dead cap out, growing their core group guys, growing their young guys, and dang it, they look good. So kudos to the Atlanta Falcons. You're playing tough, and I love it when teams play tough. You have to respect that. All right, next game, moving right along. We got the Patriots and Steelers. It was a complete bore snoozer. It was horrible. That game was ugly. It was a lot of immediate pressure, immediate stops in the backfield, immediately questioning why the play was called, what play was called, who the heck the play was supposed to go to that was called. The game was embarrassing. The Steelers, I think, win the game if they have TJ Watt. Not going to lie. The game ended up being 17-14 New England. But Pittsburgh, if they have TJ Watt, beats New England there. New England doesn't look good at all. The offensive play calling is a lot of pound and ground. If you can stop their run, honestly, they don't have the dynamic ability on the outside. Jacoby Myers is a nice slot guy, but he's being treated as a 2 right now. He's not a 2. He's a 3, maybe a 3.5. Devontae Parker has lost a step from Miami. I would love to have him in Indianapolis. I'm not going to lie. I wish we had him in Indianapolis to be a 2 across from Michael Pittman right now. Because that's what he is. He's still got the height. He's still got the hands. And he still runs very crisp routes. He's a very crisp route runner, but just can't get open because they're able to play such defenses against this offense. No separation, no timing. Both of these teams are bad on the O-line. The game was, it ended up being played because it was a close game. It really wasn't a good game to watch, but Patriots are not 0-2. They're 1-1, and so are the Steelers. 17-14, New England over Pittsburgh. Green Bay and Chicago. I want to get into this game. I've been telling you guys this whole time, for a long time, I don't like how Aaron Rodgers is doing this. How he's playing this is going to be absolutely horrible. This is not going to go over well. Okay, you talk about distribution. Sammy Watkins, okay? Aaron Rodgers is 19-25, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's an average of 9.4 yards roughly per attempt. Pretty solid. They have a huge ground game against the Bears. Aaron Jones, 15 rushes, 132 yards. A.J. Dillon, 18 rushes, 61 yards. Listen to the top receiving targets. Sammy Watkins, Aaron Jones, Randall Cobb. Then you got Dubs, Lazard, Tanyan, Watson, A.J. Dillon. Okay, that's what you have. And a lot of these throws are dump-offs. Short, quick throws. Sammy Watkins' big, ginormous catch of 55 yards was relatively later in the game. Aaron Jones gets basically a dump-off screen pass for a 15-yard gain. Randall Cobb and Dubs get 20-yard gains. Everybody else is 6, 9, 8. That's their longest catch. This offense can be stopped really quickly. He does not trust his young receivers. Watkins, gets that one play that he's able to make. Offensively for the Bears, I don't know what happened. They didn't run that many plays. Look straight up looking at this right here. They did not run that many plays. It was bad. They were outgained 414 to 228. The Chicago Bears are as bad as I thought they were. Last week was a fluke. I told you. Last week was a fluke. They're not good. They're not going to beat a team like the 49ers again. Both teams had turnover. 26 first downs to 11. Green Bay Packers in favor there. Time of possession, 38 minutes for Green Bay, 22 minutes for the Bears. It's not good if you're a Chicago fan. Last week, they got you all hyped up. Oh, maybe we could do... No, you went into Green Bay, and once again, you got dinked and dunked. Like, it wasn't even them beating you. You got dinked and dunked out of the building. 150%. 150%. So, here's what I want to do. I've got some of the games from Monday night. Let's go ahead and look at those. I know they're not on the slide. That's it for the slide, but I want to go into the Monday night games instead of using my Wednesday. So the Bills absolutely crushed once again. I mean, they smashed the Tennessee Titans. So much to where they were playing their backups. Basically all of the second half. Like, they jumped out so far. And it was impressive. It was impressive. Josh Allen has 317 passing yards again, 4 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 12 receptions, 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. Good heavens. Malik Willis did end up coming into the game and playing. Tannehill was dreadful. 11 of 20, 117 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. Malik Willis did come in, went 1 for 4. 6-yard dump-off pass. He ran 4 times while he was in there, which is something that Tannehill can't do. Ran 4 times for 16 yards. Derrick Henry ran 13 times for only 25 yards. 1.9 yards per carry for Derrick the King Henry. Titans are bad. They may actually be worse than the Colts, which right now offensively is hard to do. Their defense is really suspect. It doesn't look buttoned up at all. The Bills annihilated, just flat out annihilated them. 4 turnovers by Tennessee. They got outgained 414 to 187. The final score of 41-7. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate in how that all went down. The other game I want to look at, Philadelphia and Minnesota. This was a second half to drop. So the final score, 24-7, Philadelphia, is what the score was at halftime. There were 0 points scored in the second half. 0. So let's take a look here. Kirk Cousins for Minnesota ended up being old-fashioned Kirk again. Monday Night Football, Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. This defense is relatively good. It's not great. And the receivers that he has with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, I mean, you should be able to get something to work. He's now got Jalen Reagor, which is a fast number 4. They got KJ Osborne. But Kirk Cousins' throws were dreadful. He had one that was picked off in the right outside of the end zone by Darius Slay, down inside the 25-yard line. And I don't know what he was doing. Like the throw was so bad. Throw was so bad that everybody knew it was going to get picked off. Then they get down there again, and he throws the ball on it is basically a zig in out route that ran into a route combination. Bad. He underthrows the ball a little bit, but he was looking at straight at the receiver. And then he tried to throw a fade to Justin in the end zone, also got picked off. Like, the ball was he was bad. Kirk Cousins was horrible. My guess is he's going to bounce back on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. But this is the game. Like, this is the game. The rushing attack was basically nothing. Kirk Cousins was your biggest rushing. He had 2 rushes for 20 yards. Jalen Reagor, a rush for 17. Dalvin Cook only ran 6 times for 17 yards. Like, that is not how Minnesota's going to win football games. Kirk Cousins threw it 46 times. That's not how you win. That's not Minnesota Viking football. So I will end with the same thing I started with. I don't know if we're going to see good football until October. We have got college games this week, and even the college games this past weekend between the ranked teams. It wasn't really good football. Kentucky and Florida was good. That was a great game to watch last week. But this past week, Miami and Texas A&M, that was a horrible game. That was a horrible game to watch. Sloppy. The Washington Huskies and Michigan State Spartans, that was a fun game to watch in college. Both of those teams well coached, playing their hearts out. But even in college right now, it's just something's up, and I'm waiting for the good football where you see technicalities, the details start being taken care of again. In the NFL, you expect that in week 1, and if not week 1, week 2. But in week 2, we saw a bunch of sloppy play. Just horrible. I mean, I don't want to go on another Colts rant, but I could because I feel like it, because Indianapolis is ticked. They're calling for a new head coach now. Like, we're done. We understand that we're getting out schemed. We're getting out play called. We're not using our playmakers that we have to the ability we have. We've got Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, Paris Campbell. Hines and Campbell can both sprint amazingly fast. We're not doing reverses. We're not using any of them like Deebo Samuel or Tyreek Hill, or the way the Vikings used Jalen Reagor last night. For goodness sakes, the offense has evolved so much. But right now, a ton of these games were just sloppy. The defenses don't look buttoned up at all. I know it's an offensive league. Defense can still be played. Like the quarterbacks, the pressures. I'm going to give the Dallas Cowboys a lot of credit. They've got a ton of sacks in their 2 games. They got 6 sacks on Joe Burrow this past Sunday. Give the Cowboys defense credit. They're getting to the quarterback. The Las Vegas Raiders have 1 sack this year. 1 sack in the 2 games they've played so far. 1. Like, sloppy. It's just sloppy. The fundamentals aren't there yet. I'm hoping it comes in this week. Tomorrow's video, I'll have my Thursday night pick between the Steelers and the Browns. And then obviously I'll be looking ahead to some of the key matchups for week 2. And then Saturday's video will be the picks again. But guys, I'm wanting good football to come into play, and there hasn't been a lot of it yet. I'd say 70% has been really sloppy, poor football. So let's hope. Let's hope that good football comes in. I love football. I love what it brings, the passion that's there. But right now, it's just a lot of these games are hard to watch because you just even from the average fan's eye, you can tell it doesn't look right. So hopefully this week the coaches will all be able to get everything going. The third week we can get back into the rhythm. Maybe just go into practice and hit everybody really hard this week. Who knows? But one thing's for sure. There's not many undefeated teams left. Normally after week 2, we've got quite a few undefeated teams. Not this year. Your undefeated teams are this. You currently have the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins. They are both 2-0. The Kansas City Chiefs are 2-0. And believe it or not, that is it in the AFC. Those are the only 3 teams that are currently undefeated. And that was not the prediction at the beginning of the year. I will tell you that. That was not the prediction at the beginning of the year. Those are the only 3 teams that are undefeated in the AFC. In the NFC, the Eagles are undefeated. The Giants are 2-0 and undefeated. The Buccaneers are undefeated. And no, that's it. That's it. I'm not kidding you. That's it. The Packers lost last week. The Bears lost this week. The Lions lost last week. You got what? 6? There's six teams left that are undefeated after the second week. It's sloppy football. It's sloppy football. Teams aren't prepared right now. Don't have the 72 Dolphins don't have 72 Dolphins don't have anything to worry about except the Bills. The Bills look buttoned up. They put up 30 ginormous big ones on the Rams. They put up 41 at home against the Titans. The Dolphins have another matchup. Back-to-back weeks. Now they play Buffalo in this coming week. It's one of my biggest key matchups. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning. But, guys, I just want good football. And maybe we'll get it. So, until tomorrow, we'll go over the key matchups coming into week number 2. Week number 3. Excited for what it can be. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, join the Discord server, and put a thumbs up on the video. Help out my channel grow in the algorithm, and I do appreciate it, my friends. All right, football fans, I am off until tomorrow. Wings up, hawk out, football on.